Hey guys, welcome. Today I'm going to be going over how to properly engage your core. So engage your core muscles. First, we have to know what our core is. So a lot of the times people may just think about their abs, their abdominals, but your core is like a canister. So you have the top of your core, which is your diaphragm. It sits like an umbrella right under your ribs. It's your main breathing muscle. And then you have your pelvic floor muscles at the bottom of your core. And then of course you have the front, your sides, and your back. So when all of these muscles are properly coordinating together, this is how you will then engage your core. It is super important, not just when you're doing quote unquote core work, but when you are doing everyday activities, really everything you do in life when you are exerting yourself or picking up a load is core work. If you are picking up your baby out of a crib, putting a heavy box into your trunk, right? All of these things require you to properly engage your core so that you can moderate the pressure that you have there and help to stabilize your spine and your pelvis and help you to avoid things like lower back pain or pelvic floor issues or abdominal separation. So we are going to start by coming onto our back. You can have a pillow and a small towel handy and come to lay on your back. And then bring that pillow underneath your head and your upper shoulders. This will just help you if you have any amount of forward head posture to relax the upper body and focus more on the core. And then from here, find pelvic neutral, meaning when your hips are not arching, they're not curling under, the natural curves in your back. Bring your hands behind your low back in the floor and notice how much space you have. We're all gonna have a different amount of space there depending on how curvy we are, the curves in our back. So then you're gonna take your towel and make it the thickness equal to the distance between your low back and the floor. You're not increasing that distance, you're not going into an arch, you are just filling in the gap so that your spine can stay in neutral. Now to engage your core muscles, we are going to talk about mainly engaging our transverse abdominals. These are the deepest layer of our abs. We have different layers of our abs, and they wrap from the front of our body to the back of our body, kind of like shrink wrap or a corset. And they have connections with our pelvic floor, connections with these muscles called our multifidus in our back. And so to find these muscles, it is somewhat subtle, so you're not going to feel a burn like you would crunches. I want you to lightly lift the pelvic floor. So imagine that the base of your core, the pelvic floor, is coming up into your body, not down and out. So you're not pushing out, you're lifting up. And then think about what you would do if a kid or an animal is going to come and jump on your belly, right? You don't want them to just sink into your organs. You are going to tense up or brace up your core, right? You're going to firm it up. Now there's two ways to firm it up. You can either push out. So if I'm pushing out, right, they're about to come, I'm pushing out. That's what you don't want to do. Or you might be pushing down on the pelvic floor. Don't want to do that. You want to do the opposite. So you want to lift up and in. The other mistake that's common is instead of bracing your core is just sucking your belly in or just drawing your abs in. And this might look like, let me lift my shirt so you can see a little better. This will look like my rib cage might be popping up, right? I'm just kind of sucking in, but there's not a lot of firmness happening. If you take your fingers, find your hip points, right? Your two hip points in the front, slide your fingers just inside of that. You want to feel firmness there. So if I'm sucking in, don't really have any firmness there. And if I'm pushing out, you're going to feel that doming out. So instead, lift pelvic floor and think of drawing everything, gathering the low abs together and up. right? And then you can feel around different points. Again, don't worry about how much fat or loose skin you have. You're going under that. You should still feel a little bit of firming. I was going to say firming up. And this towel in your low back is there so that you don't squish your low back into the floor, which turns off your back muscles and isn't good for your pelvic floor, right? So it's just kind of that shrink wrap sensation around. So that's part one, is just being able to kind of find that. Then part two is to find some movement and breathe while you keep that. So let's start by keeping your feet on the ground, find that brace, inhale, and then as you exhale, breathe out of your mouth, lift your right leg up and see that nothing changed, right? So you still kept that brace. And then place that leg down, take an inhale. You may lose a little bit of that tension while you inhale, but then exhale, lift pelvic floor, gather everything in and up, find that brace, breathe out of your mouth, audible exhale while you lift that leg. Then you can try making your breath a little more smooth so that you're inhaling while you're keeping that brace and moving your limbs. So it will look like inhale into your side ribs and exhale out, deep in that brace. So I am just moving my legs independently of trying to hold this brace in my core and breathe into my sides. So what you're watching out for is as you inhale, I don't lose that brace and start to push my belly out. I don't start to push down on my pelvic floor, but I am keeping the brace and laterally breathing into my sides and even thinking about breathing into my back. That might be hard to start off with, and if it's hard to breathe in while keeping the brace, again, I recommend 2 feet on the ground. Inhale so you can lose a little bit of the brace, and then exhale, find it, lift the leg up, holding the breath out. Right, so you might hold your breath. Lower down, inhale, exhale all the air, find it, keep that breath going out, may need to hold the breath for a second, lift the leg. Then from here, you know, great if you can find it on your back, but real life, we are moving in all different ways. So let's practice engaging our core while we come to sit up. So go ahead and come on up. If you have something a little bit heavier, you can practice. So I'll use a weight here. You can also do this if you have a baby. Try to find that core. So you can go ahead, let's come onto our knees. See if you can find that core, right? I don't tuck, I don't arch. I'm just finding a little bit of that brace. You may find it without anything at first. And then as you exhale, can you keep it and reach a weight, reach something away from you? And actually this 10 away from me is even a little bit hard right now. So inhale, exhale, hold it, lift pelvic floor, right? Find that tensing, try to hold that tension, and then push something away without changing anything. If, again, going back to that, if you are lifting something heavy up off of the ground, so I can pretend this weight is a box, a heavy box or a baby, you may take a big inhale. Exhale out of your mouth, engage your core muscles, lift your pelvic floor, feel that tension, keep that exhale going while you pick it up, right? So when I generate that tension, I'm helping to decrease the pressure that I have here in my system and generate enough stiffness around my spine to protect it, right? And you can try this too, maybe one leg forward, inhale, exhale. So I'm breathing out, finding that tension before I go to lift the thing, before I go to push the thing away. So you can be able to move your arms, move things around while still having that brace. Now, equally important, I don't want you to walk away from this video bracing your core all day long. Our muscles need to move through their full range, meaning they need to relax just as much as they need to be able to work and engage. So equally important are things like I love abdominal massage, right? So massaging your abs, getting them to relax, getting your back muscles to relax, getting everything to let go when you are not picking up heavy things or doing exertion, so that you can feel the difference, and that when you want those muscles to work, they will then kick in and work. I hope you found this video helpful. Please comment below if you have any lingering questions, if I helped to clear something up for you, and if you want to practice strengthening your core muscles, practice what we kind of worked on today. I'm going to be leading a 4-week core progression. Depending on when you're watching this video, it may already be out, and I will link that playlist below. Otherwise, each week for the next 4 weeks, I'm going to be doing 5 exercises that will progress in intensity, so that you can see where you're at and notice as your strength and your ability to coordinate these muscles together deepens. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.